some different content. The title of this video will be, what is it like to daily drive a Civic Si? I paid $9,000 for this car. 2009 Civic Si had 123,000 miles or something on it, because me and my wife purchased the home out of Sacramento, and it's a total of 100 miles a day for me, and I didn't want to put the miles on my Accord, so that's where this came into play. I mean, the car is decently comfortable. The suspension is on the stiff side. This has EVOC springs and sway bars, standard shifter, which the throws aren't super long, but it would definitely benefit from a short shifter, and I prefer the notchy feel of a short shifter anyway, so that's going to be one of the modifications that I will make. I have not done anything yet. The exhaust was modified by the previous owner, a correction officer out the Bay Area, and also intake was done by him as well, and the lowering and all that. There's no low end torque, but there's more than enough power to get through traffic, and there's more than enough power up top to have fun when there is room to do it. And obviously right now you'll see the type of drive where you just want to get from point A to point B because there's no room to do anything extra and rev it out. And that is the one downside about this engine, which is why they moved to the K24s and such, was because there was no low end torque, and they tried to make up for that, and I'm sure that took away the driving characteristics of the whole revving it out, because I would rather have this being able to rev to nearly 8,500 instead of being stopped at a little over 7,000 or whatnot, and or compared to the new turbocharged Civic Si, which I ran all of those and I've not lost a one of them. So fuel economy is very mediocre. It gets low 20s in the city driving normally, and mid to maybe high 20s if you're very, very light on the throttle. Well, not even light on the throttle, just keeping the RPMs down, keeping the speed down to where your resting RPMs on the highway are pretty low. So if you were actually doing 65, you probably get closer to 30 miles per gallon, but I drive closer to 80, so I get 26 on average on a tank, and a tank of gas is maybe 320 miles completely dry. I usually fill up around 270, 280 just to be safe, which sucks because if the tank was a little bit bigger, I would get a full 3 days without having to be super conservative. And I will show you guys the reason why I wanted this car right now when I get on this on-ramp in just a second. Doing one hand shifting with torn tendon in my hand. Hopefully this car in front of me goes straight so I could show you the VTEC and acceleration. Not the fastest car by any means, but it's fun. It puts out a good sound. It revs high. The handling is great. The one thing that I've experienced several times, which could be scary, but you could predict the limits by the feel. It lets you know when it's at the limits of the handling, because the rear end gets very light. And even earlier, I was going around a turn and was pretty aggressive on it, and the rear end got loose on me, and you just let off the throttle, and as long as you're not going too fast, something that you can't correct, then you could get yourself out of it. It's very tossable. You know, the steering is very responsive. The car feels light and agile. It doesn't spin the tires. The limited slip you can feel doing its job. So overall, I think it's an excellent car. You know, it keeps on going through my head about if it was boosted. If it was boosted, I honestly think it would be the perfect car. I mean, it's not rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive or anything, but honestly, if it had, shut the fuck up.